And so it's an honor and a pleasure to have all of you with us. It's a wonderful way to stay connected, and we treasure that. If you, again, are joining us for the first time, let me give you a little company history. This is the Juice Plus company that we represent. And Juice Plus is actually, as a company, 50 years old this year. Started in 1970 with a product I'm sure you all are familiar with today, and that's the smoke detectors and fire alarm equipment for the home. We were actually the company that introduced that. And obviously that was extremely successful. We went on over the years to diversify and going to fields that were just as or successful or more so. We entered the water filtration and air filtration era in the environmental days with those two products, and in-home water filtration, in-home air filtration, and again, those were multi-billion-dollar product lines worldwide, just as the smoke detectors were. Continuing to diversify, 28 years ago, we went into the field of health technology with Juice Plus and the Juice Plus family of products, and what an amazing find that was, and still is today. I feel like just a blessing for all of us. The Juice Plus products certainly have laid the foundation for really good health, strong health, and a wonderful way for people to share with others something that brings good things and also creates businesses as we share together. We've been very fortunate over all these years that we've had wonderful people come to us at their, just the goodness of their time and experience to bring us information that's been very valuable always. Sometimes it's product information, sometimes it's business information, sometimes it's people from our corporate side. But tonight we have someone with us that's one of our national marketing directors, and she's going to share some good things with you. Our special speaker is Dr. Bonnie Schnautz. She is a naturopathic doctor. She's a digestive health specialist and holistic cancer educator. She partnered with the Juice Plus Company 10 years ago and achieved the status of National Marketing Director, which is our top position, after 5 years. She and her husband, Alvin, have 3 grown children, plus an active 5-year-old grandson. We love our grandkids. They love to travel with their 4-legged child, Bailey, to the beach, and Juice Plus has given them the means to do so. Previous to her holistic health profession, Bonnie spent 26 years in the corporate environment in industries from information technology to pharmaceuticals. She advanced to VP in sales of marketing and realized quickly she was extremely unfulfilled. She stepped away from the security of the corporate job to shift into holistic health to pursue her dream of helping others change their health and fulfill their dreams. And tonight she's going to talk to you about 7 steps to self-care during stressful times. So, Bonnie, I'm going to turn it over to you.
That sounds great. Thank you, Cheryl. It's always an honor to share. So, we know it's always been important to practice self-care. However, today it's, making your health a priority, and self-care is really critical. We are in a time, we've all heard it, it's, an unprecedented time. However, there's always going to be stressful events in our life because that is life, right? And, my hope is that, we can learn and appreciate so much from this event in time, and we can appreciate the simplicity that it brings and creates, the focus on our health and, serving people and all the amazing, generous people that has kind of come to light during this. So, at the end of the day, a pandemic of fear and crisis is going to do far more damage than any virus ever will. So that's why I really wanted to spend, time sharing things that we can control and that will help improve us through self-care. So our family has been on a journey to protect our health for the past 18 years. I'm very grateful that we've invested in our health. And, we've now set an example for our grown children and our grandson, and not only are they embracing it, they're passing it along. And that's really a true gift and a legacy that keeps on giving. And, you can do this, the same thing for your family as well, to leave that legacy of health and hope. So, disease isn't a lightning strike. It doesn't just happen. And most all healthcare professionals will agree that 80% of disease or the ability for your body to fight it is really dependent on lifestyle choices. And I truly believe that God gave our body to fight off anything if we have the appropriate resources in our body and in our mind. So, and you may have heard me say this before, for those of you that have heard me speak, that there are 3 types of stress that lead to any disease or imbalance in the body, and that's the nutritional, physical, and emotional. And the first, nutritional has to do with our foods, the processed foods I call pseudo foods or frankenfoods, and then the toxins that they contain versus eating, whole, clean foods. And I say clean, I mean organic or grown naturally. Second, physical stress is, it can be anything from you were in a car accident, had surgery, to over-exercising. And last but not least, and probably the one that carries more weight than the others, is emotional stress. And that's, where what we're going through depends more, again, on our state of mind than anything. And that's not to say if you have a positive attitude and, a compromised immune system that you won't get sick, because there are no guarantees in life. However, we do know, and you've heard probably stories of, of thoughts that can, and situations that can make us, the emotions that make us sick, and turning those thoughts into a positive light can also make us well again. Things like worry, fear, anxiety, negative thoughts, those are all the things that can, lead us down a path of, not so healthy immune function, we'll say that. So, and I know personally, because I ended up in severe adrenal fatigue because I let these things control me several years ago. But thank goodness I learned a lot from that, and I learned, it truly is mind over matter. So for this reason, I'm going to start here of our 7 steps with what I call emotional awareness. It's really being aware of our emotions and our thoughts. And, emotional stress, the top 3, which we used to always refer to, is divorce and death and chronic illness. And then there's financial stress, of course. But now we're adding things to that list, like homeschooling. For those, bless those moms that, it's like I'm thinking the same thing. That's not something when my kids were young that I would have signed up for. I would have left that to the experts, and that's adding a lot of stress. I'm hearing it from a lot of moms. Unemployment, being either laid off temporarily or permanently, the fear of becoming sick, the feeling disconnected from our friends, from our families, from our loved ones. So, and we've all been pretty much forced into create drastic lifestyles changes, and that alone brings stress. So, and that, of course, along with that brings the accompaniment of fear. So what is it we can do? We can't change the situation, right? But what is it you can shift, right? We can really start to shift, to consciously change the narrative, what's going in our mind that's causing that. So, again, if we know there's nothing we can do, just releasing and letting go of, I've heard blame, I'm sure we all have, and, the fears that surround the situation. And, those things can not only stimulate, but they can paralyze us, and they can really create stress in our body, especially in our adrenals, which we have to protect those. In living in or being stuck in the past or living in the future, because we like to predict the future, think we can predict the future and think, what's going to happen or what's not going to happen, and that can prevent you from experiencing optimal health and then living in the moment. And that's when the healing, in your body that should take place on an average day, because we're hit with all kinds of, oxidative type stresses and other stresses. So these are things that can actually suppress immune function. So things that I have done in the past that help me to overcome extremely stressful situations is meditation. So, think of, much of the time we're living, each day in the present, but physically we're still living in the past emotionally, or we're living in the future. So that's where prayer and meditation can really be instrumental in healing and by being present. But even more than that, and I'll share that with you, this is like really, really exciting news. And I don't think it's new news, but it's some that maybe some people don't know. So I do guided meditation. That's just what I like. Maybe that's lazy because I just like somebody else guiding me through it. But I really like to follow a gentleman called Dr. Joe Dispenza because he focuses specifically on healing the mind to heal the body. So, and there's science that states when we hold an elevated state, which is love and joy and gratitude, that's considered an elevated state, in our meditation or in our day and our prayers for at least 10 minutes, that can create positive changes in our body. And meditation supports your immune system by lowering cortisol and increasing what's called the IgA protein, which is an immune-supporting protein. And the IgA increases when you are in a state of that love or gratitude or joy. And that, to me, is incredible to think that, in my opinion, I'm thinking that's much better than a vaccine. Just, stay in that state. And it's absolutely powerful. And if you ever want to learn more, he has some amazing books. He's a doctor of chiropractic, and he has written a couple books. The one is called Becoming Supernatural, and the other is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. He's written more. Those are the two that I've read. So a lot of science behind the emotions, the brain, and the healing power of the mind, and a lot of really inspirational stories in there. So hope that gives you, some hope. So also just really learning to let go of control, and I always say let go and let God, give it to your higher power. And then staying out of judgment mode. We don't want to judge ourselves or others, but it's okay to evaluate. So think about the difference. There's judgment and evaluation. So you can evaluate a situation, but to really try to stay out of judgment. I've heard people talking about what others are doing or what they're not doing and who's not staying home and who's not playing the 6-foot rule, whatever the situation. So just stay and focusing on yourself because really, again, that's the only thing you can control. And then change your language. Words have power, right? So we look at some of the language we hear. We're in isolation. We're in quarantine. I don't use those words. I use words like we're in, family time, self-reflection time, whatever, that feels good to you because it's a lot more positive than, the others. And I don't use the words pandemic or, again, that's just my choice. Crisis or pandemic is extremely negative. I refer to it, this is an opportunity for me and for others to learn and grow and serve. And, it's really about, the greater good. And again, we're not stuck at home. I heard that a lot. We're safe at home and we're with our loved ones and we're in a safe place. And you can look at the people in the world that are dying from any disease at any given moment, or you can look at those who are recovering. So just taking that spin, focusing on what you can't do or what you have to do versus what you get to do. And that's something a wise coach taught me years ago. I get to be at home. I get to be with my children. We are safe. So those are things that have become a true gift of appreciation. So, and really having that abundance versus scarcity mindset. There are people out of work, but honestly, the majority of the people are still employed. Not everyone's sick, not everyone is poor. There's plenty of people, and some are even getting bonuses and like things like hazard pay during this time. So that's something, again, we, in my family, we have been blessed with, very blessed. So, do I miss dinner with friends and my Bible study and my church and hugs? Yes. Is it hard sometimes? Yes. But sometimes I just, have to tell myself it's not about me. It's just where we're at. And I choose to create a positive thought and a positive outcome for myself for the day. And starting with a gratitude journal is a wonderful way to do that. We live in a land of abundance. We really do. And we're so blessed. I have One of my very good friends is from another country, and she always reminds me of what a wonderful state of abundance we have in the United States, and that always helps bring me back. But anyways, do you have friends and family that love you? Of course you do. Do you have a roof over your head? These are things, looking at, and the simplicity that this has brought our life: less stress, less doctor's appointments, less sports, fewer options is sometimes less chaos and confusion, and I appreciate the simplicity that this time brings. So that's number one. Number two is diet and nutrition. Of course, we've heard we need to eat, whole foods. We need to eat preferably more plants than animals, right, for optimal health, consuming as much preferably organic fruits, vegetables, berries, and greens as possible, nuts and seeds. Plants contain fiber, enzymes, and antioxidants, plus they create an alkaline environment in the body, and these components are key to expedite healing and just for normal homeostasis. So eating organic reduces the toxicity that conventional foods may have that can further stress the body. So essential fatty acid foods are wonderful: flax seeds, chia seeds. The avoidance of or decreasing the amount of sugar and excess meats, dairy, and gluten, they're all creating an acidic environment, plus they can slow and even suppress immune function. They're hard to digest as well. Things that are helpful is juicing, because when those cells are broken down of the plants, when you juice or make a smoothie, they're easier to digest. And when we're stressed, one of the first processes that will stop is digestion or slow down. So it helps us assimilate the nutrients faster, and then your cells can be able to be fed and healed and repaired. And then eliminating excess stimulants such as coffee, energy drinks, sodas, and alcohol that contain caffeine, because caffeine alerts your adrenals to pump out adrenaline and cortisol. So in short, caffeine can put you into that instant fight or flight mode. And we definitely want to stay out of there in times of stress. And then number three is rest, recovery, and sleep. So I use kind of the 10P to 2A rule, where my goal is to be in bed by 10 p.m. Doesn't always happen, but that's my goal. And we want to stay asleep hopefully past 2 a.m., of course, which hopefully we're sleeping much longer than that. 7 to 9 hours is optimal, sometimes more, depending on your situation and your age. But that's when the body is really rebuilding, repairing, and healing. So it's really important that you stay asleep during that time. And some helpful tips to make that happen are to avoid electronic insomnia. I made that term up. So it's that stimulating technology, the phones, the computers, the TVs, and trying to reduce and avoid that for at least 1, preferably 2 hours before going to bed. It's very stimulating. And that can disrupt your sleep. If you have to work late and be on your phone or your computer, consider using what are called the blue blocker glasses. So I have like a daytime pair and a nighttime pair. I try not to use them, or I try, to stay off the technology. But if I do work late, those things are just simple things that come in handy. I turn our Wi-Fi off at night to reduce the technology, the routers, they all emit, our phones emit electromagnetic frequencies, which is, i.e., radiation. So obviously we're not using that at night, so that's just something that we've gotten in the habit. We call it the 10:30 rule. The 10:30, the Wi-Fi goes off. Simple things like diffusing lavender oil in your bedroom helps, and taking mental breaks for the day. It's not just about sleep, it's about rest during the day and giving yourself downtime. And that's when I like to incorporate additional prayer and meditation. I also do it in the morning, but that recharges me. Or going for a walk, especially in the sunshine and the fresh air. That's all very healing to the mind and to the body, okay? So number 4 is movement, and that's fresh air, biking, walking, taking your shoes off and grounding your feet to the earth, getting sunshine, getting that real vitamin D, no sunscreen, at least 15 to 20 minutes, expose as much as your body as you can. And then restorative yoga is wonderful. It's It's a very gentle, healing yoga, and you can go online. One of my favorites on Facebook is called Be Still with Beth. I love her yoga. So also additional free resources for home workouts and, of course, recipes is our Healthy Living Revolution site, which is just healthylivingrevolution.com. So wonderful resources there. And then number 5 is detox. And what I recommend is detoxing from social media and the news, okay? You don't want to live in the dark, but you don't want to watch it 24/7 either or be on social media 24/7. Seek reliable sources for your information, find out what you need, and then turn it off, okay? So use moderation there. Again, avoiding alcohol and sugar, again, because they can impact immune function. If you have access to an infrared sauna, for those that have them in home right now, I have a portable one, which is wonderful. That's a great way to help support the body in detox. Epsom salts baths are wonderful, 20 minutes. I usually say start out with 1 cup at night because it helps relax you and helps you to sleep as well. And then I recommend building up to 2 cups of Epsom salts. Make sure you get the plain, no scents, no other additive perfumes in it. And those are hard to find sometimes. Okay, and number 6 is just our self-care, which is so, so important. First of all, you can do, fun things like create a spa day and do your mask or your, a manicure or a pedicure. And that just makes you feel good, right? Or a bubble bath with lavender oil in it. There's so many nice things you can do for yourself. Again, yoga, restorative yoga preferably, or gentle yoga. Prayer time, giving your worry and fear to a higher power because, again, we don't have control. Learn a new skill. Go online. There's so many options. You can tour museums. You can start a hobby. You can do something in personal development. Find a way to serve others. We've been doing fun things that help us give back, like buying gift certificates to our local massage therapists that we use, or if you have a housekeeper or service providers that you can support, if you have the resources, this is a great way to give back. And then in your day, find structure and stay organized. I think routines and structure are so important. I've been quite structured since I've worked from home for many years now, that it helps reduce stress and chaos when you have organization and structure. And just to give you an idea of kind of what my day, how it starts out, I start out with prayer, meditation, and reading the Bible and or a personal development book. And then I may go into my gratitude journal. I kind of fluctuate between doing it first thing in the morning and last thing before I go to bed. If you can do it both, that's even better. And then I'll do a workout. Right now, that's any equipment that you have at home, walking lunges, hand weights, walking outside, running, whatever you do. And then, of course, eating a whole food breakfast would be my next step, and that usually starts with a green smoothie or overnight oats. Then I get showered and dressed for the day just like I'm going to work. So it's easy to get in the habit of just staying in your pajamas or, workout clothes, but sometimes just get dressed up. It will really make you feel good, and put a little bit of makeup on. I'm not a big makeup person, but sometimes I like to put a little on. And then I turn my essential oil diffusers on, a little bit of peppermint for mental clarity, and I step into my office and I'm ready for my day. So it's just setting the environment to work and to be productive and to serve, because that's what we do. And then, so that's number 6. Number 7 is all about supplementation. So this is taking kind of our nutrition to a whole new level. And this is what I have been using, and that has served me. I have not taken an over-the-counter prescription now in 18 years. So I'm pretty sure it's working, and nor has my husband as well. So for foundation, of course, we always use, like I said, whole food, preferably plants. But I also include a whole food concentrate, which is basically fruits, vegetables, and berries. They have been picked at peak ripeness, and it's a combination of 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries. And what it does, it's in a capsule, and it helps you bridge the gap between what you should eat and what you actually eat. And for us, we're not getting, most of us, including myself, we're not getting the recommended servings of all those fruits and vegetables that we need every day to support our immune function. So the products undergo a special low heat process to preserve the nutrients. And unlike a lot of synthetic vitamins, your body knows what to do with this because it's food. It has a food label. And there is a distinct difference for me when I take it and when I forget to take it because, like I said, my energy levels are just so much different. So, I love that. And I know it's working, even though it does have clinical research studies behind it. There's over 30 clinical studies, and, 4 of those are specific to supporting key immune system functions. And I think that's pretty much what we're all striving for right now, right? And there was also another study conducted on lung health, showing improvements in markers of pulmonary function and cardiovascular risk factors in heavy smokers. So I know a lot of people that have friends and family that are smokers are very concerned right now. So again, there's no guarantee, but we do know clinically it does support those functions. So we know it's not possible, like I said, to eat enough whole food to obtain the nutrition. I had been juicing and eating organic for almost 10 years when I started the Juice Plus Whole Food capsules, and I still saw so many positive benefits, and I knew at that time that if it was helping me, that I knew that everybody needed it in their body, and so I have been so passionate for all this time because of that. And I also drink in my smoothies. I use the complete plant-based shakes, which are high in fiber. I like to add additional greens in there from my tower garden, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I also include a little bit of fruit and some essential fatty acids from, the chia, the hemp, and they're absolutely delicious, and they are super cost-effective, and they are basically my meal replacement. And then there's a plant-based omega that I take, and that's a combination of the 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 fatty acids, and that's derived from seeds, fruits, and algae, no fish. And, of course, the oils are minimally processed. That's really important when you're looking for a plant-based omega. That's good for everything from hormone to heart to brain function, vision. I've experienced some really positive benefits with my eye health using the Juice Plus Omegas. And then there's the Tower Garden, which is the aeroponic growing system. I've had mine, I think for at least 6 years now, and it's a way to grow your own food. It's much safer, clean. You can grow organically, naturally, because it's all contained either indoors or out. You can consume vine-ripened, and that's basically how our Juice Plus is processed. It's vine-ripened, and that's why it's so powerful. And it also helps you avoid unnecessary trips to the store right now, which is a bonus. Some other supplements that I use on a regular basis are vitamin D, vitamin C. The liposomal is a great option. Liquid zinc, probiotics, and digestive enzymes are always important for supporting immune function. So, and last but not least, I really have to cover just touch on, before I close here, on the Juice Plus business model. As I mentioned, in the emotional stress aspect, the financial stress is in that, in the top stressors. And also we know it's, the second leading cause of divorce in families is financial stress. So, and I remember 10 years ago when I joined the company, I was needing extra income. That's really the only reason. I really wasn't that interested in the health aspect because I thought I was doing everything that I could do. But I had left a very toxic job, and I took a leap of faith, as Cheryl mentioned, to serve others in the field of wellness. And, right now, a lot of people are facing the same thing. They're getting laid off, either temporarily or permanently. and a lot of them probably we won't know. And I remember how stressful that was. And, the Juice Plus business was such an answer to prayer as, we needed to make a house payment. And within a few months, we were able to do that. And, it turned into multiple house payments after, a few years. And it's allowed us to move into a beautiful, warm, sunny climate that was really almost just a dream. And, we've had a really happy ending. And I want to share that as hope because that's really, truly what we share. You don't need a special education or credentials, just a passion to help others. The company even provides a full benefit package at the top 2 positions, and which is the other reason I partnered. I knew my husband's family health history, and it wasn't good, and I wanted a plan B for benefits so I'd never have to worry about paying out of pocket or be forced to go, to have to work for someone else. I figured I'd paid my dues at 26 years, and I love the freedom, flexibility, and creativity of being an entrepreneur. That just, to me, brings me such joy. So, sometimes people don't need the money that join us. They need a reason to serve. They want a reason to serve. So, some days we're just out there, I say we're prolonging people's lives and we're, maybe saving them from losing their homes or their autos or their marriages. And, it's an amazing community rich in relationships. And right now we're learning that's really what it's all about. It's about people helping people. And, we're really getting grounded in that. And this is part of the great experience. So, I know I am where I am filled with hope and joy and a positive outlook because of this company, the community, and because someone stepped out and shared it with me. So I appreciate being in charge of my financial future and the peace that it brings. So whatever aspects of this community speaks to you, really get with the person that invited you and take a closer look, whether it's about the products or looking at a plan B. And it's really, everything, as I said, is about mindset. You have this. You have control of that. Your emotions, your thoughts, your perceptions, your reactions, you've got this. So I want to thank you so much for your time, and I just want to wish each of you a very blessed holiday this weekend.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bonnie Schnautz. I appreciate you coming to us tonight and sharing with us. And so many things you said so powerfully and so important, especially at this time. I have been on the Juice Plus product now we've had it almost 28 years, so myself and my family that long. And one thing I can say about our product is that all these years what I've watched is that whatever a person is dealing with, they just deal with it much more efficiently. Their body is able to handle it much more efficiently. So I don't think there would be any reason for it to be any different going forward. And so there is that feeling of, just security and that you feel like you have support for your body that just gives you a little bit of an edge. And
absolutely.
So that's a good feeling, right?
Right. It's our nutritional safety belt, as we call it.
And that's a good way to, I think, identify it. Also, I have always been a student of positive thinking. Dr. Joseph Murphy's written some great books, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. Yeah. And I would certainly recommend those for people as well. They're excellent, but I find with myself, at this time, that I do have to work at disciplining those thoughts. And, I found that, like you said, if I can really put that structure into my day, get up and dress up, so to speak, and literally, okay, because you do feel better.
Yes.
And really monitor myself as far as my thinking, but, also what I'm watching, what I'm hearing, what I'm allowing myself to be involved in. And then, really working at creating that discipline, but not being so hard on myself if I kind of fall away from it and then have to get back in line, you might say, as far as my thinking is concerned. So I think we're certainly from a company standpoint, we're very, very blessed. We all do work from home, all of us that do Juice Plus. And that is not only a wonderful skill to have acquired at this point, but it's a great skill to offer others. It's a great skill to teach. And we've never been more relevant than we are today as far as our product line, but also the way that we share this with others. I think that people forever forward will want to make sure that they have a plan B. and that we're the people here that can not only reach out, be the ones to show up for others, and offer that little bit of an edge, and maybe a big edge as far as our health is concerned, and also the skill of having a plan B that can be there for you in any type of situation. So thank you so much for your input tonight, and for all of the people on the line. Again, I feel like how fortunate we are to know each other, to stay connected as we have all these years, and the fact that there is a huge amount of emotional revenue that comes with what we do. It certainly surpasses all other, I think, as far as your revenue or what you gain in life. It's really the joy of working with and also serving others and helping others, and we're in position to do that. So thank you again, Dr. Bonnie Schnautz, and for everybody on the line. We look forward to seeing you on Zoom calls daily, maybe, because we do a lot of those every day for both product and sharing the development of our business, and, of course, the events that we have that are up and coming, which will be a number of those, and look forward to seeing you on a screen somewhere soon. Okay?
Okay. You're welcome, Cheryl. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Good night, folks.
Good night.